On the surface, narcissists often look like winners. They appear confident, charming, and untouchable. They walk into a room and command attention, effortlessly dominating conversations and steering every social interaction to their advantage. They seem to have it all: the perfect job, the flawless image, the unwavering self-assurance. When they set a goal, they appear to achieve it with ruthless efficiency, leaving a trail of exhausted but impressed people in their wake. They are masters of the grand gesture, the bold declaration, and the strategic maneuver. Their public-facing life is a meticulously curated highlight reel of successes, and from the outside, it looks like they are simply better, smarter, and stronger than everyone else. They are the person who always gets the promotion, who has the last word in an argument, and who seems completely immune to criticism or failure. Their charm is a weapon, their confidence a shield, and their ambition a force that appears to know no bounds. They have a way of convincing not only others but themselves that they are in a constant state of victory. They are the heroes of their own narrative, and they believe with every fiber of their being that their dominance will last forever. But here's the dark truth psychologists want you to know: narcissists can never truly win. Beneath that polished exterior, behind that carefully constructed mask of superiority, there is a profound, soul-deep emptiness. Their every victory is a desperate, frantic effort to fill a void that can never be filled. Every time they manipulate a situation to their advantage, they are not building power. They are frantically shoring up a crumbling facade. Their charming smile is a performance, their confidence is a desperate act of denial, and their success is a hollow temporary fix for an unending sense of fear and insignificance. The person they present to the world is not real. It is a magnificent but fragile construct, and the entire edifice is built on a foundation of lies. They are always on the run, from their own shame, from their own insecurities, and from the terrifying possibility of being exposed as the broken person they truly are. Their victories don't bring them peace or joy. They only provide a fleeting moment of relief, a temporary silence in the deafening roar of their own internal chaos. They are not winning. They are surviving, minute to minute, on a stolen sense of worth. Why? Because every victory they claim comes at the cost of their own emptiness, fear, and self-destruction. This isn't a theory, it's a fundamental psychological reality. A narcissist's so-called win is simply another transaction, where they trade a piece of their authenticity for a moment of external validation. They lie to get a promotion, they manipulate to win an argument, they charm to gain power, and each action further separates them from their true self, if there ever was one. They are constantly accumulating things: power, admiration, attention, but they can never accumulate inner peace or genuine love. They are like a person trying to fill a bottomless bucket with sand. The more they pour in, the more it seems to disappear. The more they achieve, the more hollow they feel. This unending cycle of seeking external validation while their internal world disintegrates is a form of self-sabotage, an act of self-destruction that they are too blind to see. They believe they are climbing a ladder of success, but they are actually digging their own grave. Stay with me until the end of this video, because once you understand why narcissists never actually win, you'll see them for what they are, and you'll realize the power was never theirs to begin with. Hook line. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed how hollow their victories feel? Think about the most impressive victory you've seen from a narcissist in your life. Did it bring them genuine happiness? Did they seem to find lasting peace? Or did they immediately move on to the next person, the next conquest, the next source of attention, as if the last win never even happened? That hollow feeling isn't an accident. It is the defining feature of a narcissist's life. They are constantly winning battles but forever losing the war for their own soul. The pursuit of external validation is a never-ending treadmill, and the moment they stop running, they are faced with the terrible truth of their own profound inadequacy. They cannot rest, they cannot be still, because stillness is a confrontation with their own self-hatred. And so, they must keep winning, they must keep fighting, they must keep manipulating, not for joy but for survival. Every win is a temporary bandage on an open wound that never heals. They are not living a life, they are living a lie, and the effort to maintain that lie is a kind of psychological death by 1,000 cuts. It is a slow, agonizing process of becoming less and less human, less and less real, and more of an empty echo of a person. Narcissists thrive on appearances. To them, life is a performance, and they are the lead actor, director, and stage manager all at once. The world is their stage, and every person in it is a potential audience member, or, more often, a prop to be used. They spend an inordinate amount of time and energy meticulously crafting their image. This isn't about being a better person, it's about appearing to be one. They will carefully select their words, their clothes, their social circle, and even their hobbies to project an image of success, sophistication, and superiority. This performance is an exhausting and all-consuming task. They can never truly relax because the mask must never slip. They are always on, always calculating, always assessing every situation for how it might affect their image. This constant vigilance is a source of immense internal stress, a silent, grinding anxiety that they can never admit to. They must appear effortless, but behind the scenes, the effort is monumental. But psychologists explain this isn't true winning. It's image maintenance. It's the difference between a real masterpiece and a cheap, painted backdrop. A real masterpiece has depth, history, and substance. The narcissist's image has none of these. It is a one-dimensional front designed to create a specific effect. Beneath the mask, there's a constant, debilitating fear of being exposed. They are terrified that someone somewhere will see through the performance, that they will catch a glimpse of the terrified, insecure child they have buried deep inside. This fear dictates every single one of their actions. They avoid vulnerability at all costs, because vulnerability is an invitation for someone to see their true self. They must always be right, because being wrong would be a crack in their façade. They must always be in control, because a loss of control would reveal their profound powerlessness. This isn't about winning a game. It's about a desperate, unending struggle to keep the game from being called off. They are so busy managing the perception of their life that they never actually get to live it. Their existence is a prison of their own making, a gilded cage, where the only thing they have to fear is the truth. Think about it. Can someone really be victorious if they're always terrified of being unmasked? A true victory brings a sense of accomplishment, peace, and security. A narcissist victory brings none of these. It only brings a temporary, fleeting moment of relief from their internal torment. Once the applause dies down, once the moment of triumph has passed, the fear comes rushing back. What if I can't do it again? What if they see I'm not who I pretend to be? What if they realize how easy it was to fool them? This is the narcissist's eternal question, a question that haunts their every waking moment. This fear is not just a passing anxiety, it's a profound, existential terror that consumes their every thought. They are so busy fearing exposure that they can never truly enjoy their accomplishments. They can have all the money, all the power, all the admiration, but none of it can protect them from the relentless gnawing of their own insecurity. Their so-called victories are like a phantom limb. They can feel them, they can see them, but they bring no real sense of satisfaction or peace. They are a constant reminder of the emptiness they are trying so hard to hide. The illusion of winning is a heavy burden for the narcissist. It requires them to constantly be on guard, to never let their guard down, and to always be aware of every single person in their environment. They are constantly scanning for threats, for people who might see through them, for situations that might expose their flaws. This level of hypervigilance is exhausting. It takes a toll on their mental and physical health, leaving them in a constant state of low-grade anxiety and paranoia. They are surrounded by people but feel profoundly alone, because they cannot trust anyone to see them for who they truly are. They are so committed to the illusion that they have forgotten how to be real. This is why their relationships are so transactional and shallow. They cannot form a genuine bond with anyone, because a genuine bond requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is a luxury they cannot afford. Their life is a beautifully painted lie, but a lie nonetheless. And in the end, a lie can never truly win, because the truth is always there waiting to be revealed. The very fabric of their existence is a performance, and a performance, no matter how convincing, can never be as real as the truth. The facade is not just a mask they wear, it is their entire identity. There is no them behind the mask. The mask is the only thing that exists. This is the profound tragedy of the narcissist. They have lost themselves in the performance, and they are now a slave to the very illusion they created. The illusion of winning is a trap, a cage that they have built for themselves. They can't leave it because outside of it, there is only the terrifying void of their own nothingness, and so they must continue to perform, to manipulate, to win, not because it brings them joy, but because it is the only way they know how to exist. They are like a person walking on a tightrope over an abyss. They can't look down, they can't look back, they can only focus on the next step. The moment they falter, the moment they stop, they fall into the abyss of their own profound, terrifying emptiness. This is the illusion of winning. It is a path to nowhere, a journey that ends in a confrontation with a self they have spent a lifetime avoiding. They win every battle, but they lose the war, and the war is with themselves. Every so-called win for a narcissist comes from extracting emotional supply, your admiration, your attention, your reactions. This supply is the very air they breathe. Without it, they feel like they are suffocating. It is not a desire. It is a fundamental, deeply ingrained need for their psychological survival. Their internal world is so barren and empty that they have no choice but to seek validation, power, and a sense of self-worth from external sources. The people around them are not seen as human beings with their own feelings and needs. They are seen as resources, as an endless well of emotional energy to be tapped into. The narcissist is a psychological vampire, and the emotional supply they extract from others is their lifeblood. They have no internal source of self-worth, no inner voice that tells them they are good enough, and so they must constantly look outside themselves, always seeking a fix, always seeking a new source of energy to keep their fragile ego from collapsing. This is why they are so addicted to social media likes, to public praise, and to being the center of attention. Every piece of external validation is like a small dose of a drug that temporarily numbs their pain and fills their void. It is a never-ending quest for a high that never truly satisfies them. When you praise them, they feel powerful. This is the positive form of supply, the one that makes them feel good about themselves and reinforces their grand false self. They will fish for compliments. They will tell stories that make them look like a hero, and they will go to great lengths to be admired. When you give them that praise, you are not just saying something nice, you are giving them the emotional fuel they need to keep their engine running. Your words are a temporary antidote to their deep-seated insecurity. But here's the key. The praise never lasts. The feeling of power they get from your admiration is fleeting, and as soon as it fades, they are back on the hunt for the next fix. They can never truly internalize your words, because their core belief is that they are not worthy of them. They hear the praise, but it echoes in a hollow chamber, and the sound disappears as quickly as it came. And so they must always seek more. More praise, more attention, more admiration. The hunger is insatiable, and your praise is just a temporary snack. When you argue back, they feel important. This is the negative form of supply, and it is just as valuable to them as positive supply. A narcissist would rather be hated than ignored. Your anger, your frustration, and your tears are all proof that they matter, that they have power, and that they can affect you. When you argue with them, you are engaging with them on their terms, and in their mind, this is a form of victory. The conflict confirms their relevance and their ability to control the emotional landscape. They will goad you, provoke you, and push your buttons until you finally snap, because your emotional outburst is a validation of their power. Your anger is a form of fuel, a desperate, fiery energy they can feed off of. And in the end, when you are exhausted and drained, they feel a perverse sense of triumph. They have gotten a reaction from you, and that is all that matters. They have proven to themselves and to you that they can get under your skin, that they can control your emotions, and that they are the most important person in the room. When you break down, they feel victorious. This is the ultimate form of supply. When you are at your lowest, when you are crying, when you are emotionally and mentally broken, the narcissist feels a sense of profound triumph. They have successfully drained you. defeated you, and broken you down. Your pain is their victory. It confirms their power and their ability to destroy. They will often play the victim in this scenario, twisting the narrative to make it seem like your emotional breakdown is a sign of their own suffering. But make no mistake, in their private internal world, they are celebrating. They are reveling in their power. Your tears are a confirmation of their control. Your despair a testament to their dominance. They will use your breakdown as a source of fuel for days, weeks, or even months, replaying it in their minds and using it to reinforce their belief that they are a superior being. Your suffering is not a source of empathy for them. It is a trophy, a badge of honor that they can use to prove their own importance. But here's the truth. If their victories always depend on others, are they truly in control, or are they slaves to the supply they crave? A true winner is self-contained. Their power comes from within, from their own sense of purpose, their own values, and their own strength. A narcissist power is borrowed, fragile, and utterly dependent on the people they can manipulate. They are not in control. They are controlled by their insatiable need for supply. They are like a puppet, and their strings are pulled by their need for attention, admiration, and validation. They cannot choose their own path. They must follow the path that leads to the most supply. They are a slave to the very addiction they have created, and the more they win, the more they tighten the chains around their own neck. They are not free. They are in a prison of their own making, a prison that requires a constant stream of emotional energy from others to keep from collapsing. Their dependence is the ultimate sign of their profound weakness, and it is the reason they can never truly win. They may have the appearance of power, but they are nothing more than a slave to their own emptiness, a slave that is forever and desperately hungry. Psychologists compare narcissistic victories to a drug hit. It feels good in the moment, whether it's praise, control, or attention, but it never lasts. The feeling is intense and euphoric, a powerful rush that momentarily silences the gnawing emptiness they carry inside. It's the feeling of a promotion, a successful lie, or an emotional outburst from a victim. For a brief, fleeting moment, the world feels right, and their fragile ego is inflated to its maximum capacity. They feel invincible, powerful, and utterly in control. But like any drug, the high is temporary. As soon as the praise stops, as soon as the conflict ends, as soon as the victim is gone, the emptiness rushes back in with a vengeance. The euphoria gives way to a crushing feeling of restlessness and a desperate need for the next hit. The dopamine levels crash, the anxiety returns, and the terrifying void they have spent their lives running from is right back where it started. They are left with nothing but a lingering craving for the next opportunity to manipulate, to lie, and to control. This is the cycle of addiction, and the narcissist is trapped in it, forever chasing a feeling that can never be sustained. That's why they need more drama, more manipulation, more power plays. The high fades quickly, leaving them empty and restless again. The need for supply is a constant, nagging hunger that must be fed. They cannot stand the silence, the boredom, or the lack of attention. The absence of a reaction from others is a form of torture for them, a constant reminder of their own insignificance. So, they will create drama out of thin air. They will stir up conflict, provoke arguments, and lie about others just to get a reaction. They will sabotage their own relationships, their own careers, and their own lives in a desperate attempt to get the next hit of supply. They are a walking tornado of chaos, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake, not because they are evil, but because they are so desperately hungry for validation. Their need for supply is so intense that it overrides all logic, all reason, and all consideration for others. They will burn down their entire life just to get a single, fleeting moment of attention. And in the end, the wreckage they create is a testament to the hollowness of their victories and the depth of their profound, unshakable emptiness. Have you ever noticed how narcissists always circle back, creating the same toxic cycles? That's because their wins never stick. They cannot learn, they cannot grow, and they cannot change, because the cycle of addiction prevents them from ever truly reflecting on their own behavior. They will go from one relationship to the next, one job to the next, one group of friends to the next, repeating the same patterns of charm, manipulation, and abandonment. They will love bomb a new victim, drain them of their emotional energy, and then discard them, only to find themselves back at the beginning of the cycle, hungry and alone once more. They can never build anything lasting because the foundation of their life is built on a temporary, fleeting need for external validation. They are like a person trying to build a castle out of sand on a beach. The tide of their own insatiable hunger will always come in and wash it away, leaving them with nothing but the emptiness they have spent their lives trying to avoid. Their wins are like sandcastles, beautiful for a moment, but destined to collapse. Every time a narcissist wins, they're actually losing something important. Every time they get their way, every time they get a dose of supply, they are chipping away at their own humanity. They are trading a temporary, fleeting feeling of power for something far more valuable: genuine connection, inner peace, and a sense of self-worth. They believe they are gaining something with every victory, but in reality, they are losing more and more of themselves. The cost of their victories is not paid by others alone. It is paid, most of all, by the narcissist themselves, in a currency they can never truly understand, the currency of a life lived in truth. They destroy trust in relationships. A narcissist cannot form a genuine, loving, and reciprocal relationship because a genuine relationship is built on a foundation of trust, vulnerability, and mutual respect, all of which are concepts that are completely alien to them. They lie, they manipulate, and they gaslight as a matter of course. They will say one thing and do another. They will make promises they have no intention of keeping. They will twist your words and turn your truth into a lie. They will betray your confidence and use your deepest insecurities against you. Every one of these actions is a form of winning for them, a way of gaining control and a source of supply. But every one of these actions is also a nail in the coffin of every relationship they have. They are so focused on winning a single battle that they lose the entire war for connection. They are so committed to their lies that they can never truly be seen. And without being seen, they can never truly be loved. Their relationships are transactional, shallow, and ultimately doomed to fail. And the deeper the relationship, the more devastating the betrayal. They are so busy trying to win an argument that they never stop to think that they are also destroying the very bond they claim to want. They push away the very people they need. The narcissist's greatest fear is abandonment, yet their constant need for supply and their manipulative tactics are guaranteed to push everyone away. They will use and abuse the people who love them the most, believing that their love is a resource to be exploited, not a gift to be cherished. They will exhaust their friends, their family, and their partners with their constant need for attention and their relentless drama. They will create a reality so toxic and so exhausting that even the most compassionate people in their lives will eventually give up. They believe they are in control, but in reality they are pushing everyone away, one by one, until they are left alone with nothing but their own emptiness. The narcissist's greatest irony is that the very people they are so desperately trying to control and exploit are the only ones who can give them what they truly need: unconditional love and acceptance. But their fear of vulnerability and their addiction to supply prevent them from ever truly accepting that love. And so, they will push it away, time and time again, until they are completely and utterly alone. The profound silence of their own solitude, a testament to their own self-sabotage. They sabotage their future by living only for the moment. The narcissist is so focused on the immediate, temporary high of getting supply that they have no ability to plan for the future. They will lie to get a promotion, but they have no long-term vision for their career. They will sabotage a coworker, but they have no understanding of how that will affect their reputation in the long run. They will spend all their money to impress others, but they have no savings for the future. Their life is a series of impulsive, self-serving decisions, each one made in a desperate attempt to get a quick fix of supply. They cannot see the long-term consequences of their actions, because their entire world is built on a fragile, moment-to-moment need for external validation. They are like a person who is constantly eating junk food, getting a momentary rush of energy, but slowly and surely destroying their body in the process. The narcissist is destroying their own life with their short-sighted need for supply, and they are too blind to see it. The cruel irony? Their constant winning leaves them lonelier and more unstable over time. They will have a magnificent but empty house, a flawless but fake image, and an endless list of so-called victories, but they will have no one to share them with. They will be surrounded by people, but they will feel profoundly and utterly alone. The mask they have spent a lifetime building will become so heavy that they can no longer bear its weight. Their life will be a constant grinding and exhausting battle to maintain an illusion that no one truly believes in anymore. They may have won every battle, but they have lost the war for their own soul, and they will be left with nothing but the profound and terrifying silence of their own emptiness. This is the ultimate cost of their victory. Isn't it ironic that the harder they try to win, the more they guarantee their own downfall? Here's the ultimate truth. Winning requires growth, resilience, and the ability to build something lasting. A true winner doesn't just get to the top. They build a foundation of genuine connections, inner strength, and long-term vision. They can take a hit, learn from their mistakes, and come back stronger because their power is not external, it is internal. They are not dependent on others for their sense of self-worth. They can face rejection, failure, and criticism without their entire world collapsing, because they know who they are, and their identity is not tied to the approval of others. They build things, businesses, friendships, and families that have real substance and real depth. Their wins are not temporary. They are a part of a larger ongoing process of growth and self-discovery. This is what true winning looks like, and this is what a narcissist is completely and utterly incapable of doing. They manipulate instead of build. The narcissist is a master of destruction, but they have no ability to create anything of lasting value. They can tear down a person, a relationship, or a company, but they cannot build one. They can manipulate people into giving them what they want, but they cannot build a team based on trust and mutual respect. They can lie to get a promotion, but they cannot build a career based on genuine hard work and talent. Their life is a series of short-sighted, self-serving actions, each one a monument to their own destructive nature. They are so obsessed with getting the next fix of supply that they have no time or energy to build anything of substance, and in the end they are left with nothing but the wreckage of their own lives. They are builders of nothing, masters of chaos, and their greatest achievement is a monument to their own profound emptiness. They control instead of connect. A true relationship is not about control. It is about connection, intimacy, and vulnerability. It is about two people coming together, sharing their truths, and supporting each other through life's challenges. A narcissist is incapable of this. They cannot connect with anyone because connection requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is their greatest fear. So, they resort to control. They will manipulate, coerce, and gaslight the people in their lives, not because they are evil, but because they are so terrified of losing them. They believe that control is the only way to keep people in their lives. But in reality, control is the one thing that will always push them away. They will have a long list of acquaintances, but no true friends. They will have a long list of partners, but no true love. They are so obsessed with controlling others that they have lost the ability to connect with them. And in the end, they are left with nothing but the profound loneliness of their own isolation. They fake instead of face the truth. The narcissist life is a lie, and they have no ability to face the truth about themselves, their actions, or their relationships. They will twist the narrative, rewrite history, and blame everyone but themselves for their problems. They are so committed to their own lies that they have lost the ability to distinguish between reality and fiction. They are so busy trying to convince others of their greatness that they have no time to reflect on their own flaws. They cannot apologize, they cannot admit they were wrong, and they cannot change, because all of these things would be an admission that their entire life is a lie. They are so committed to their fake identity that they have no ability to face the truth about who they really are. And in the end, the truth will always win. That's why every so-called victory is temporary, fragile, and destined to collapse. The narcissist's life is built on a foundation of lies, and a lie can never truly win because the truth is always there, waiting to be revealed. The people in their lives will eventually see through the mask, the lies will eventually be exposed, and the illusion of their greatness will eventually crumble. the narcissist will be left with nothing but the profound emptiness of their own reality. And in the end, a victory built on lies is no victory at all. So let me ask you, when someone's entire life is based on pretending, can they ever really win? A true winner is a person who has found inner peace, who has built genuine relationships, and who is living a life of authenticity and truth. A narcissist can never achieve any of these things, because their entire life is a battle against themselves, and that is a battle they can never win. The narcissist's downfall is sealed the moment you stop playing their game. This is the moment you reclaim your power, your peace, and your freedom. This isn't a long, dramatic battle. It is a quiet, profound, and powerful act of disengagement. It is the moment you stop reacting to their manipulation, their lies, and their chaos. It is the moment you stop trying to fix them, to heal them, or to get them to see the truth. It is the moment you realize that their game is not your problem, and you simply refuse to play. When you refuse to react, when you stop feeding their supply, when you reclaim your peace, they lose everything they thought they had over you. They lose their source of energy, their sense of power, and their control over your emotions. They will try everything in their power to get a reaction from you, but your silence will be a shield they cannot penetrate, a wall they cannot break. They will be left with nothing but the profound and terrifying silence of their own insignificance. They will spiral, they will rage, and they will try to make you feel guilty for their misery, but you will know the truth. Their misery is their own creation, and their defeat is the result of your own profound strength. And that's the real victory. Not theirs, but yours. Your victory is not about making them suffer. It is about finding peace. Your victory is not about getting revenge. It is about reclaiming your own life. Your victory is not about winning an argument. It is about finding your own truth. This is the ultimate defeat for the narcissist, because the one thing they wanted most, control over you, is the one thing they can never ever have. When you walk away with your head held high, with a sense of peace and a renewed sense of self-worth, you are a living, breathing testament to their ultimate and irreversible defeat. The narcissist may chase illusions of winning, but you hold the power of truth, and truth always wins. So here's the dark truth revealed. Narcissists may appear to win battles, but they never win the war. Their life is a cycle of emptiness, dependence, and destruction. Their wins are temporary, their power is borrowed, and their happiness is an illusion. They are slaves to their own insatiable need for supply, and their victories are nothing but a desperate, fleeting attempt to fill a void that can never be filled. They may appear to be on top of the world, but in reality, they are alone with nothing but the wreckage of their own lives and the profound emptiness of their own souls. The true victory belongs to those who break free, heal, and refuse to live under their control. It is the victory of a person who has found their own voice, their own truth, and their own sense of self-worth. It is the victory of a person who has walked through the fire and emerged stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than ever before. It is the victory of a person who has chosen freedom over fear, peace over chaos, and love over control. This is the most powerful victory of all, because it is a victory of the human spirit. If this video gave you clarity, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into breaking free from narcissistic cycles. Remember to check out the other videos on this channel as well, as they all provide a path toward healing and self-discovery. We are all on a journey to find our own truth, and every step we take is a step toward freedom. And remember, when you walk away with peace, you've already won.